Good afternoon and welcome to Tax Tip Tuesday. I am your host, Chastity Grady. I am the owner of Grady Tax Plus, where I help service-based providers who are new in their business understand their business structure, their tax situation, and help keep their finances organized. So today we're going to talk about a specific tax situation, okay? And that is the home office deduction, okay? Whether or not you possibly qualify for it. And as always, my disclaimer is that any information I provide in this video is going to be for informational purposes. If you need specific guidance in regards to your specific tax needs, then definitely consult with your tax professional or hire me as yours, okay? So today we're talking about the home office deduction, okay? I'm going to talk about three things: what the home office deduction is, who qualifies, and how to take the home office deduction, okay, when it comes to your taxes. All right, the home office deduction is something that is a tax deduction for your business. So if you're considered a sole proprietor, independent contractor, if you have a LLC, if you're a single member LLC, you may qualify for the home office deduction, which is something that is tracked from a tax standpoint, not necessarily from a bookkeeping standpoint, but from a tax standpoint, okay? And so when it comes to taxes, right, so with the home office deduction, again, if you use your home for your office, so for example, if you offer virtual services, if you offer online services or e-commerce, you work primarily out of your home, any of those things, if you're a content creator, working out of your home, those are some kind of ways that you can work from your home, but there's other ways you can work from your home. So if you work from your home, there's a possibility that you may qualify for a home office deduction. Now, what qualifies you for the actual home office deduction is if you are using a space that is dedicated specifically, exclusively for your business activity, okay? Now, a lot of people think that they have to have like a full room in order to use your home office deduction, but that's not necessarily true. You can have a space that you use that is dedicated specifically for your business. Okay, for example, let's say if you use half of a bedroom, or maybe you have like a game room area and you use like a corner of the space, something that you've carved out specifically for your business activity, for you to have meetings or create content or whatever it is that you're doing. That particular space can possibly qualify you for your home office deduction, okay? Now, that's not to say that just because you have a home office that means that you can't also have a physical office, because you can have a physical office. But what happens is, in order to determine if you can qualify for both, because having a physical office is a separate tax deduction, okay, because you're going to pay rent for that. In order to qualify to have the home office as a home office deduction, in addition to maybe a physical space that you're paying for, is if you are primarily doing your administrative duties, your managerial duties from your home. So say, for example, you go into the office and you see a client or a business partner or something like that. But if you go to the office, right? But what you have to do is you have to do all the administrative part of the work at home in order to qualify the home office as a home office deduction if you also have a physical space. So that means you go see a client in office, but when you get home, you do your documentation, you send out emails, you do invoices, you do everything else, the administrative stuff, from your home, so that you can be able to use your home office deduction in addition to the physical space. Because a lot of people realize that if you don't have that home office deduction as your primary office space, then that eliminates that as a home office deduction. You can't take the home office deduction if you are using a home less than 50% for your business needs, okay? So you having your administrative duties, any virtual things that you're doing, content maybe, if you're a business owner, a lot of you should be creating content for your business for marketing purposes, and you can do all of that at home. All of that adds up to you having your home office as the primary place where you're doing business, and then you also, in addition, having that dedicated space where you're doing all of these things that will help qualify you for the home office deduction, okay? So let me talk about, so I hope that makes sense, okay? If that makes sense, definitely leave me a comment and let me know. Now, when it comes to actually taking the home office deduction, right, there are two ways that you can take your home office deduction. Now, if you are self-prepared, meaning you file your own taxes, you may not use one of the methods. One of the methods that you may use, which is the easier method that most people already know about, is just using the simplified method, which is just putting in your square footage of the total home space, and then the square footage of the actual space that you're using that's dedicated for your office, right? That's one type of home office deduction that you can take. There's two different ways to take the home office deduction, and just using the square footage is one of them. One of the downsides with using this just the square footage is limited to 300 square feet. Most people don't have a home office that's 300 square feet, so you don't have to worry about that. But what happens is, if your expenses outweighs the $1,500 deduction that you get from that 300 square feet, then you are losing out on having additional tax savings. Okay, I'm gonna just talk briefly about how one client I've worked with, how they did their own taxes in last year they had like a $500 tax deduction for using the easy way. Well, I call it the easy way, where you just put in your square footage. But when we did the actual expenses way, which is what I'm going to talk about next, they were able to have a $2,500 tax deduction just because they took the time. Well, really, I took the time because I told them this is what we're going to do, right? To take the actual expenses. So what is the actual expense? The actual expense is when you still track your square footage, because you need that to calculate the percentage of all your expenses. But you get to write off your rent. So if you rent, if you have a home, you have a mortgage, then it's the interest, okay? You can't take the actual mortgage, it has to be the interest. So your utilities, any utilities that you have, home office, not home office, but security system, if you have a security system. So a whole bunch of things. If you have a warranty, if you have maintenance, repairs, different things that comes with, having a house, having an apartment, whatever it is, those are things that you can take a percentage of as a tax write-off. So you see why, if you just limit yourself to only taking the square footage, you have a maximum cap of $1,500. But if you actually take a percentage of everything that you're paying, then that will yield you, or should yield you, a bigger tax deduction. In addition, if you own your home, then you also get to take depreciation for your home as well, and any improvements. So your Mika says, is it true that the home office has to have a door that closes? That is a good question. So what I will say, because not necessarily, because if you have like a game room, like I had mentioned, like if you have a game room area, and if you use half of the game room area for how you conduct work, then that's different. But what it can't be like a kitchen. You can't have like a kitchen, use a kitchen, for example. You can't dedicate a part of your kitchen as a home office. So there's parts in your home that you can't necessarily use, but it doesn't necessarily have to have a door that closes, just a dedicated space that's that you can clearly show that it's office, home office deduction, which actually leads me to this home office organizer that I have. So in this home office organizer, I give you the blueprint that you need in order to track your home office deduction, okay? I'm not going to share it in this video because I have it in this home office organizer, but there's one particular thing that you need to have or need to do in order to, quote, audit proof your home office deduction, so that you can make sure that you, if you were to take this home office deduction, that you don't, like the IRS won't take it away from you because you didn't have this particular proof. And I do have it in my home office organizer, which has month by month everything that you need to track for your home office, everything that you're spending for your home, so you can keep track of it as you're doing it, as you pay your light bill, as you pay your gas bill, as you pay whatever it is. You can track it month by month, and then you can take this guide to your tax professional or to me, and then we can easily apply this for that tax deduction, so that you don't have to scrummage around trying to figure out, what bill did I pay in January, what bill did I pay in February. You can track it, and you can get started now, because we are getting towards the end of the year, so you want to make sure that you are getting everything in order before tax season comes, so you're not stressed. And I also have the, quote, audit proofs area, so that you can make sure that you do these particular things to make sure that you are audit proof in your home office deduction, because you want to make sure that you are being able to, you are able to take the home office deduction and you keep the deduction if the IRS were to audit you and say, no, we don't think that you deserve this deduction, okay? So I do have that linked above this video so that you can get that off of my website. If y'all have any other questions about the home office deduction, let me just do a brief recap. You need to have a dedicated space that you are exclusively using for your business, okay? If you do have a physical office that you go to, you have to make sure that you're not doing administrative things at the physical office, because that would disqualify the home office being a primary deduction for you, okay? So that means doing all your emails, your invoices, your documentation, whatever it is that you're doing administratively, doing all of that in the home office and only using the physical office to actually see the client or see someone that you're meeting up with for whatever meeting, okay? And then, like I said, I talked about 2 types of home office deductions that we have. We have the one where you just track the square footage, and then one where we actually track both the square footage and everything that you're paying for the home, so you can take a percentage, okay, that should yield you a bigger tax deduction, okay? So I hope that makes sense to y'all. Like I said, my home office organizer is available so that it lays all of this out for you, so you don't have to second guess yourself. And it's available today for purchase. It's only $19 on my website, which is linked above this video, and also link it in the comments. Okay, so if y'all have any other questions about the home office deduction, let me know in the comments, and I will, I'll be happy to answer them. All right, so today that completes Tax Tip Tuesday today with the home office deduction as our topic, and so I will catch y'all in the next Tax Tip Tuesday.